G'day mate and welcome to a special episode of Prediction Time. In this episode, I will be previewing the Asian Cup and giving you my predictions on how the Asian Cup will go down. For those of you who don't know, the Asian Cup has 6 groups of 4 teams, with the top 2 of each group qualifying and the 4 best third place teams qualifying for the round 16 as well. Let's jump into it. Today we have Bahrain, India, Thailand, and the favourites in this group in my opinion are the UAE. UAE have the home advantage in this year's Asian Cup, and this could help them go a long way in the tournament, or it could put pressure on the team and allow them to stuff up. However, I believe the UAE will have a good campaign in the Asian Cup. Alberto Zaccheroni's team hasn't been picking up too many wins. However, these games were against difficult opponents like Venezuela and Slovakia. The UAE had a brilliant run in the last Asian Cup, finishing third after a shock penalty win over Japan. Ali Mankut will be looking to continue his impressive run of form in Asian Cups after finishing the last Asian Cup as the top scorer. I feel that although recent results haven't been as positive as Alberto would have hoped, I believe the UAE have a strong chance of getting far in this tournament. Now on to India, where Stephen Constantine, the former Millwall manager, has a tough job on his hands. In a relatively tough group, India will be looking to prove that they can compete in continental competitions. India have been runners-up in this competition, but unfortunately for them, that was in 1964. They haven't qualified since 2011. They didn't even make it out of the group in 2011. Keep an eye on Sunil Chhetri, the 34-year-old striker, who has the same amount of international goals that Messi does. He is 1 goal off, levelling the record for most goals for India. India did have a resurgence in results in the years between 2008 and 2011, but the momentum has decreased tenfold. India's history against the teams in these groups aren't very good either. Against Bahrain, India have drawn once, lost 4 times, winning none. Against Thailand, they have won 4, drawn 6, and lost 11. And against the UAE, they have won 2, drawn 1, and lost 8. So India will be looking to change their fortunes in this year's Asian Cup. Next up, we have Bahrain, who have gone as far as 3rd place playoff in the 2004 Asian Cup. But unfortunately for them, in the last 3 Asian Cups, they haven't even gotten past the group stage. Since the appointment of Miroslav Sukup, Bahrain have looked very impressive qualifying for the Asian Cup, so although they didn't make the World Cup, Bahrain have scored 15 goals and conceded only 3 in Asian Cup qualification. If Miroslav selects Ismail Abdultalif for the Asian Cup, I believe he'll be motivated, as this could be his last international tournament, as he's not getting any younger at the age of 32. He will also be looking to increase the record amount of goals for the Bahraini national team. I believe that the Bahrain national team could surprise some people this year, but Syed Mohamed Abbas will have to play well to keep the attacking talent in Group A at bay. Thailand are the last team in this group and are coming into the Asian Cup with hopes of an upset after some positive results in recent months. Thailand beat Indonesia, Singapore, and Trinidad and Tobago, while taking Aubameyang's Gabon to a draw and only just losing to Marek Hamšík's Slovakia. If the job of getting through the group wasn't hard enough, however, the Thai star goalkeeper Kawen Thamasachinen injured his toe and it is unclear whether he will play in this Asian Cup. He was still selected for the training camp though, but many of the Thai players looked far from impressive in the Suzuki Cup after getting knocked out by Malaysia, but this could motivate the War Elephants to show everyone in Asia what they're made of. I'd love to see Thailand go through because the War Elephants is just such a cool nickname for a national team. So how will this group go down? The UAE are the best team in this group. With the home support, I think no one will stop them and they will top this group. Though from 2nd to 4th it will be quite tight, but if Kawen Thamsachinen can recover, Thailand will finish 2nd. Then Bahrain, in my opinion, will just edge out an Indian team which will come close to some upsets. So UAE 1st, Thailand 2nd, Bahrain 3rd, and unfortunately for India, they'll come 4th. Group B, we have my national team Australia, Jordan, as well as Palestine and Syria. So let's get into it. First up in Group B, we have the current champions and my country, Australia. Australia aren't as confident as they would have wanted to be in their title defence, as the Kings of Asia come into the Asian Cup with Moy selected in the squad, but Huddersfield Town and the FFA in the middle of a fight for the midfielders' availability. Matthew Leckie pulled up with a hamstring injury against Bayer Leverkusen, which isn't good, and Brendan Rodgers also wants Tom Rogic to skip the first Asian Cup game to play the Old Firm derby. Brendan Rodgers' Celtic also has Daniel Arzani on loan from Manchester City, but he got an ACL from playing with Celtic. So a lot of controversy over injured players selection, as well as Australian players like James Troisi questioning the selection arrogantly. All in all, there is a lot of controversy around the squad, and with star players out, this is a perfect opportunity for new players like Awamabil, Martin Boyle, or Jamie McLaren to prove themselves as replacements for star players like the recently retired Tim Cahill. Although the controversy, Australia have a pretty easy group and will hope to quiet doubters with 3 wins from 3 games. Jordan are the next team in this group and have qualified for the last 2 Asian Cups but still haven't tasted success. Jordan have qualified for the Asian Cup 4 times, making the quarterfinals twice and getting knocked out in the group stages twice. Jordan come into the Asian Cup with a very experienced team, with only 7 out of 38 of the provisional squad being under the age of 25. Musa Al-Tamari is one of these players at the age of 21. He has scored 7 goals in 10 games for the table toppers Apoel in the Cyprian Premier League. Big clubs might start scouting him if he can put in some good shifts this Asian Cup. Yassin Al-Bakit is an experienced player to look out for as well. At the age of 29, Yassin has been playing well in the UAE Gulf League. It'll be interesting to see if he can translate this league form into some international form. Jordan are an experienced team that know each other well after qualifying for the last 2 Asian Cups together, so they shouldn't take much time to gel. Jordan fans should be optimistic about this year's Asian Cup. Palestine are into their second Asian Cup, and anything is improvement compared to last Asian Cup after losing every single game, only scoring 1 goal and conceding a whopping 11. They're the second worst team in Asian Cup history, just above Bangladesh. Palestine have drawn Jordan again, like last time, but face Syria and Australia for the first time in Asian Cup history. Noureddin Old Ali has been coaching Palestine his whole career. The Algerian stated, "We want to bring joy to Palestine, and the first game is crucial." If Palestine can start off positive, it'll give them confidence to kick on and hopefully qualify for the next round. Salah Chidahade is in brilliant form with Crayons in Switzerland. He has hit the back of the net 20 times in 29 games. Salah has lived in Switzerland since the age of 7, but is proud to be representing his homeland of Palestine. He made his debut against Pakistan earlier this year. Abdellatif Bahadari has got 58 caps and 8 goals for Palestine and was introduced as the full-time captain in 2015 World Cup qualifying games. Hopefully Palestine can do their country proud. Syria round out the Group B and play Australia, who knocked them out of World Cup qualifying, so they will be out for revenge. There has been a lot of controversy off the football pitch for Syria, with Donald Trump pulling out American troops from Syria, so Syrians need some sort of happiness, right? This controversy could affect the team in 2 ways, either make Syria unfocused and more focused on the issue off the pitch, or motivate Syria to make their country proud and happy. Omar Al-Somma is Syria's star player, scoring 85 goals in 85 games for Al-Ali. Syria still have 1 more friendly game to play against Yemen on the 30th December in Abu Dhabi before starting their Asian Cup campaign against Palestine. Syria leaves Syria on the 23rd of December for their first Asian Cup since the Syrian war started. The Syrian war has made Syria the country with the most refugees in the world. Syria have never made it out of the group stage and will be hoping to break that tradition in a group that is shaping up to be very, very interesting. Like I said earlier, this group looks very interesting. I'm sure Australia will top the group. They'll get comfortable, they'll gel, and they'll go undefeated. In second place, I think Syria. Syria will be motivated to bring joy and hope to their torn-apart nation. Jordan will finish third, thanks to Musa Al-Tamari's brilliance. And so, unfortunately for Palestine, they'll finish last again, but I think they'll at least pick up a point this time around. Group C consists of South Korea, China, Kyrgyzstan, and the Philippines, starting off with one of the overlooked favourites in South Korea, with Song Heung-min hitting spectacular form this season, scoring 8 times and getting 4 assists in 22 appearances. South Korea also just won the Asian Games earlier this year, which should give them a confidence boost coming into the Asian Cup, knowing they can handle the task. Hwang Ui-jo has been prolific with 20 goals in 30 games for Gamba Osaka. South Korea have been on a really impressive run. Since June, they haven't lost a game, beating sides like Uruguay, Costa Rica, and Germany, and drawing with Chile, Panama, and Australia. With a pretty easy group for South Korea standards, maybe it's their year. Although it seems pretty obvious to have South Korea as one of the favourites, many have written them off, putting Australia, Iran, and Japan ahead of them. But South Korea are a real force to be messing with this year and could even go all the way and win their 3rd ever Asian Cup. Second up is China, and although they're no Asian powerhouse, they still are a quality team and will be hoping to get to the round of 16. Li Wu is China's best player, but is not in the best form at the moment. He hasn't been all season for Shanghai. But I think the Asian Cup is a big enough event to motivate him to play well. China's history against the Group C teams is pretty good, playing Kyrgyzstan once, winning once, playing the Philippines 20 times, winning 15 times, drawing 3 times, only losing twice. The form against South Korea isn't as good, however, playing them 35 times, only winning 3 times, drawing 12 times, and losing a whopping 20 times. China used to be the powerhouses of Asia between 1976 and 2000, but haven't been as good as they want to be, only coming out of the group twice in the last 4 Asian Cups. China has gone as far as second, but actually never winning the trophy. No matter how much the Chinese want to win the Asian Cup, there are better teams out there like Australia, Iran, Japan, and South Korea. But much more strange things have happened. I mean, Leicester won the Premier League once. Can China win the Asian Cup? Kyrgyzstan are one of the 2 debutants in this group and will be hoping to make a good first impression in this year's Asian Cup. Although you could say Kyrgyzstan qualified for the Asian Cup with the USSR as their first tournament after their independence. Kyrgyzstan beat Jordan, Tajikistan, and played really well against the Kings of Asia, Australia. Kyrgyzstan also lost to India once in Asian qualifying, but Thresh Myanmar beat India and beat Macau, which should make up for that. So Kyrgyzstan have played really well against Asian teams, so they may have what it takes in this Asian Cup. Vitali Lux will have to score if Kyrgyzstan want to go through to the next round. The 29-year-old has a respectable goal every 4 games ratio for his national team and is playing for SSV Ulm in the German 3rd Division. The White Falcons have a real knack of edging out games, only beating a team by more than 2 goals in 2 of their 12 games. Kyrgyzstan are an interesting team and I'm looking forward to seeing how they go this year. The Philippines are into their first Asian Cup, and if it wasn't hard enough for them, they have been drawn in a quite a difficult group. They start the competition off to one of the favourites in South Korea, and then play quality in China before ending their campaign against other debutants, the Kyrgyzstan, in what should be a very close game. The Philippines' defence looks very solid with Alvaro Silva and Daisuke Sato in defence and Neil Etheridge in goal. Although Neil Etheridge is currently playing in the second worst defence in the Premier League, he should benefit from a step down in opposition quality. No matter how good the Philippines' defence is, it's their attack I'm worried about. The Philippines have only scored 3 goals in the last 4 games, which is only 0.75 goals a game. In a group with a lot of attacking talent, that could prove a real issue. However, I hope that the Philippines can sort their issues out and make it out of a very, very tough group for them. How will this group go down? Well, South Korea should be untouchable in this group, going through top without dropping points. While China will have a little bit more difficulty, should go through easy. At the end of the day, I think Kyrgyzstan and the Philippines will lose against South Korea and China, but will draw against each other. The Philippines' defence will give them the better goal difference. So South Korea first, China second, and the Philippines third, edging out Kyrgyzstan on goal difference. Thanks for watching. I was going to make this one whole video, but it's taking a while to put together, so I thought I'd cut it in half. So part 2 should be coming out in the next 3 to 5 days for the Asian Cup prediction. So subscribe and hit the bell notification so you know when the video comes out. I'm also working on A-League prediction time for round 10, so keep an eye out for that. If you have any videos ideas, just let me know down in the comments. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye.